Friends, we have a brand new video. It's on our good friend here, Milo Wolf. Gonna do a reaction video to this science, fitness, gear, or no, he's not a gear guy. Science, fitness, gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness slave. So yeah, Milo Wolf says, was I wrong about the stretch? Was he wrong about the stretch? I've never seen this video before. This is the first time. I don't know, because I have to catch up on his videos. I don't really watch his channel. I think I missed a couple weeks here.
The stretch is the most controversial topic in the fitness industry.
I don't understand this. The stretch is the most controversial thing in the fitness industry. Why would it be controversial? The stretch is the eccentric. You go up concentrically, that shortens the muscle. It goes down, it stretches the muscle. How complicated can this be for people to understand?
Milo, the only two words I fucking know are lengthened partials, wolf.
Full range of motion.
Okay, that guy over there on the left is a dumb idiot, that old man. This guy, FAQ, I like him. Full range of motion.
Matters most. Compared to partial reps, full ROM is superior across the board.
No, it's not. It's only good if it's matched. Look, here's the thing. It's only a full range of motion is only superior to eccentric if it is matched. You understand me? Only if it's matched. They tell you this in science. They explain it, bro. I never said that you couldn't get damaged in a full range of motion. But what's damaging you? The eccentric. But only if they're matched. You understand me? Only if they're matched. But the triggering device for the damage, for the hypertrophy to happen, is the eccentric. See what I mean? It's always the eccentric. It is the triggering device to cause that damage. Concentric doesn't do that. You can only get damage lifting concentrically if there's eccentric involved. Then there's hypertrophy. So only if it's matched. Science tells you this. Old studies tell you that. New studies. Christ. But eccentric will always be superior. Why? Because you could go heavier eccentrically. It'll always be superior for strength and size because you could go heavier eccentrically than what you could concentrically. But what makes concentric superior to eccentric? If you're lifting in a full range of motion, what does it make it? Nothing. It's only matched. You understand me? For an example, if all you could lift is 90% in the concentric in a full range of motion, then it means it's matched. So therefore, it would be superior for what? Hypertrophy gains. You understand me? It's only superior when it's matched in a full range of motion. But guess what? You could lift 140% eccentrically. So is it superior now anymore? No, get it, man. I don't think people even understand how to read these scientific fucking reports, bro. Christ.
I want to talk about stretch, mediated hypertrophy, and why it's dumb.
Based on the research I conducted,
That guy has got to be the dumbest person in the world. Stretch, mediated hypertrophy. You mean eccentrically. It's not. You're dumb.
I have been a huge advocate for lengthened training. However, I've received a lot of criticism and backlash about my opinions and research on lengthened training. So, in this video, I'll respond to all of those. You'll get a response straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. This is going to be the resource to training in the stretch and lengthened partials. I'll be giving my recommendations on how to incorporate the stretch for maximum muscle growth at the end of the...
You can call it a lengthened partial, or you can call it a short partial. Concentric could be considered shortened partials. Does that build muscles? No, it adapts by making it smaller. Get it? So how can concentric shortening partials be superior to eccentric lengthening partials? How? If that's if that's what causes damage to cause hypertrophy, duh. Are you people all like in like La La Land out there?
Video 2. But why is the fitness industry so interested in the stretch to begin with? My own interest in the stretch...
Why is the fitness industry so interested in the stretch? They're not. They're just making up stuff. They're confusing you. They don't want you to know what builds muscle. So they throw in these things once in a while, and then you think it's inferior or something.
Arose during my PhD. The topic of my PhD was the effect of range of motion on muscle growth. Full disclosure.
Yeah, his PhD, his paper on full range of motion. Yeah, okay. If the power is matched, in a full range of motion, and you can go heavier in the eccentric, but the power is matched in a full range of motion, which modality, which one is going to be superior for hypertrophy gains? The concentric or the eccentric? If you're lifting in a full range of motion, 90% of your max. Which one? But remember, what triggers damage? Eccentric. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? Christ. The triggering device for damage is the eccentric. But when they talk about hypertrophy gains in a full range of motion, which one is going to be superior? Well, they're going to say in science the concentric, you understand me, in a full range of motion. Now, in the eccentric, which is going to be superior? Just in the eccentric, which one's going to be superior? Eccentric, because you could go heavier. You understand me? You're not matching it. They're talking about matching it in these reports.
When I first started my PhD, I fully expected full range of motion to be best for building muscle.
No, it is good, but it is not best. It's not best, bro.
I was wrong. In 2021, we conducted a meta-analysis on all...
Of course you're wrong, because you could go 140% heavier in the eccentric, always.
the existing studies that manipulated range of motion during different exercises and measured muscle growth. On the whole, full range of motion seemed marginally better than partial range of motion when we simply dichotomized between the two. However, we took a novel approach. Instead of assuming all partial reps were created equal, we thought of the muscle in symbol.
They're not, and all exercises are not equal. If you're laying down and standing up and doing specific exercises, the range of motion, the amount of weight you're using is dependent. It's not all going to be the same. See what I mean? But you know, on some exercises, you can go astronomically heavy, especially if you're standing up and it's a pulling motion. If it's a pulling motion or a stretching motion, you can go astronomically heavy. So will the other muscles in your body benefit from that? Of course it will. Look, let's say, for example, I'm on a flat bench, but I can't press the weight against gravity so heavy, even though it is eccentric, but we're still pushing against gravity, going with gravity. The difference is you can go on a dip on a dip machine or whatever, a dip, okay? You could do dips, okay? You could do these dips and you can do them astronomically heavy with weight, eccentrically. You understand me? There's always a way to get around these problems. See what I mean? So, pull-ups, you can put astronomically with a belt and weight. You could go so heavy eccentrically, it's crazy how heavy you could go. You understand me? You can keep going heavier and heavier every week. You just keep adding more weight. Go crazy. And you just get fucking stronger and stronger all the time. So eccentric is a much more sophisticated, superior modality to get to your destination of muscle growth and fucking strength, bro. Get it? You could never do that concentrically. It's impossible. And even if it was a full range of motion, eventually it will give out. It will give up. Even if you do, if you've matched it 90% of your lift, full range of motion. The problem is it's too light for the eccentric. It's only superior because you're matching the weight. Now what happens when you outmatch that weight concentrically? Well, the eccentric is now superior because it's moving 140%. You're moving 90% of your max in a full range of motion concentrically. It'll never, and that's outmatched already right there. So you see what I mean?
When we compared partial range of motion at short muscle lengths to a full range of motion for hypertrophy, full range of motion did seem superior. However, when comparing partial range of motion...
No, it's only superior if it's matched. You understand me? It's matched. And so they've matched it there. You understand me? In other words, the 90% going up is 90% going down. So it's matched. But when it's just eccentric, it's outmatched. It's outmatched. Yeah.
At long muscle lengths to a full range of motion, partials actually seem to be superior.
No, it's not superior. It's not superior if it's 90% of the full range of motion. It's only superior when you can move the weight heavier in the eccentric. That's what makes it superior for strength and for gains.
At first, I was shook. This sent me down a deep rabbit hole. I read up on all the research I could find comparing shorter to longer muscle length training. Lo and behold, the finding that longer muscle length training builds more muscle than shorter muscle length training, all else being equal, was a very...
No, only if it's matched. Christ, man, did these fucking people not understand? It's only superior in a full range of motion when it's matched. It is not superior when it's outmatched in the because of the eccentric.
Very consistent finding. Whether it was longer muscle length asymmetrics versus shorter muscle length asymmetrics. Partials at lower muscle...
It is not superior if you're using the same weight eccentrically. You understand me? It's not superior. In science, when they tell you eccentric exercise is superior to concentric when it comes to strength and mass, only when it's outmatched. That's it. But concentric does not build muscles. It's just they're talking about a full range of motion and it being matched for that weight.
Lengths versus partials at shorter muscle lengths. Lengthened partials versus a full range of motion. Or shortened partials.
Yeah, but it's not superior. What he just demonstrated is not superior. What he should have did was now in that partial range of motion in the eccentric, he should have went heavier to demonstrate that that's its superiority. That's how you demonstrate. Here's the superiority of eccentric exercise. We can go 140% heavier. Okay, so what makes concentric superior? It doesn't, because it doesn't do anything by itself. Now, in a full range of motion, the eccentric is now, it's matched. It's matched. The weight that's going up, it's 90%. Let's say you're lifting 80 or 90% of your max. Whatever you can make it for to get to the top. But it's matched, bro. Get it? It's matched. You understand me? So they'll say that lifting concentrically, full range of motion is superior for hypertrophy gains. That's what it'll tell you. Read it in science. It says full range of motion, the concentric will be superior for gains. Why? Because you're not going heavy enough in the eccentric because it's matched. Christ.
This is a full range of motion. Longer muscle length training just seemed to consistently cause more growth. Or, in a small number of cases, at worst, the same growth. But that's exactly what I outlined in the discussion for our meta-analysis, which was eventually published in 2023. I started appearing on podcasts to communicate the research to practitioners. After all, the best research is worthless if it isn't being used in some regard. But before I do...
I can't believe I'm watching this video, man. I don't even think I can finish this. This is fucking stupid.
Let me tell you about how I've been having my creatine. I've been having these creatine gummies by Tasty Gains.
I don't want to know your products, dude.
A phenomenon where only certain regions of a muscle grow effectively. While regional hypertrophy is well documented to happen in exercise science, it doesn't particularly seem to occur with lengthened training. Research suggests that while focusing on the stretch might preferentially grow more distal areas of a muscle more, farther from the origin point of a muscle.
No. What happens is you're causing more damage to the muscle fiber, thus adapting to growing more muscle to whatever to protect you. You get a bigger, you get a stronger. You get bigger, you get stronger.
It doesn't grow proximal areas less than using a full range of motion. If length and partial...
Not if the weight is matched. Let me explain something to you people out there. Fuck. If the weight is matched, what you were lifting in the full range of motion, if it is matched, then the eccentric is never going to be superior in a full range of motion than the concentric for hypertrophy gains. Now, when does eccentric become superior to concentric, even if it is a full range of motion or a short length of motion? So I got
Full range of
bumped. It got bumped there. So when is it going to be superior? It's going to be superior in the eccentric. You understand me? Because you can go heavier. Yes, without the concentric. You understand me? Look, eccentric is superior to concentric. But then we have a full range of motion now. Let's talk about full range of motion. If it is matched, the weight going up and going down is the same weight. And it's matched now. You understand me? It's matched. You understand me? We can go heavier in the eccentric, but it's matched. The eccentric and the concentric, it's just moving at 80 or 90% of its max. So what's going to be superior? What are they going to say in science? They're going to say, well, the concentric is superior for hypertrophy gains than the eccentric in a full range of motion. Why? Why is it superior? Because going down, you're not going down with heavier weight. You've matched the weight. The weight is matched. It's still 80% going down. Get it? You understand me? Now, what happens if they did a study and then they went up with 90%, but they went down with 140%? What would be superior? The eccentric. You get it? But it's matched in a full range of motion. You're not really lowering it any heavier than 90%. You understand me? So they call that matched.
If lengthened partials did fail to recruit certain muscle fibers, this would show up in measurements of muscle growth in these studies.
It never fails to activate the muscles. It activates more of everything. Lifting eccentrically heavier than concentric activates everything.
But it doesn't. Whether it's proximal or distal areas of muscle, the research consistently finds similar or greater muscle growth when focusing on the stretch. Therefore, lengthened training.
Of course, when you're focused on the stretch, there will always be muscle growth there, because that's where the growth happens. Duh. Fuck, man. People are really stupid. All muscle growth happens in the stretch. It doesn't happen in the shortening part. You understand me? Christ. But growth will only happen there if there's enough intensity, enough work being done to cause these micro damages.
Seems to recruit just as many muscle fibers as a full range of motion does. Second, the ability.
Oh, it recruits the same amount of muscle fibers as in a full range of motion. No. If you're lifting heavier, you're going to recruit more muscle fibers and more motor units lifting eccentrically. Duh. If you're going over that 90% max.
Back performance. One of the primary ways we can assess whether we are progressing, and therefore whether our current training, nutrition, and recovery protocols are working, is by our numbers in the gym. Are you able to lift more this training block than last? Are you stronger today than a year ago? If so, there's a good chance you built some muscle. Bigger muscles aren't the
Well, we don't want to know by chance. We want to know exactly.
Only thing that can make you stronger. But in the long run, they are the main thing making you stronger. One of those variables.
Okay, this guy is really boring. I can't watch this video anymore.
Is range of motion. Although there are exceptions.
I don't care.
Rows and minion deadlifts, just going past the knee is enough to standardize the motion.
That's concentric.
For curls, trialis, and the brachialis. No other muscles can flex the elbow, whether you're doing.
Okay, I'm out of here, man. I'm not doing this video no more. I'll see you in the next one. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. There's no point going through this. He wants to yap for 24 minutes about nothing. I already disproved everything that he said in the video. See you in the next one. And I can bring up science to disprove him too. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.